Hi, welcome to Truth Driven Ministries. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about why gratitude is a key component of transformation. I live in the state of Texas, and really southern Texas. Summers in southern Texas are unbearably hot. In fact, right now, today is November 5th, and let me check what the temperature is. It's 84 degrees outside. Why? And so in the summer, typically it's 95 degrees plus. If you add the heat index, oh my gosh, it is like you will be incinerated the moment you walk outside. Now, of course, not literally, but it really feels that way. Now, what I'm pointing out is when I change states, meaning when I'm inside in the nice cool air condition and it feels amazing, and then I walk outside and it is so hot, I can't help but notice that I've made a change of state. I've went from feeling very, very comfortable to feeling very uncomfortable. I say all that to say, when I am living in a state of gratitude, it has a completely different feel than when I begin to enter a state of transformation. A state of gratitude is extremely peaceful. So when I transition from a state of gratitude and move into a state of transformation is going to feel very uncomfortable. And that's just a natural part of that process. There's nothing wrong. It's just like, hey, it's trying to get our attention. So if we live in that state of gratitude where we're thankful, where we're at peace, there's a certain surrender that we have with our life that as soon as something uncomfortable comes in, we're going to notice it immediately. The change of state will get our attention and we'll begin to search for, hey, what's going on here? Because we are going to recognize that we are changing states. If we're not able to feel a state change, if everything constantly kind of feels the same and there's no discrepancy between the two, we just live in a state of where we kind of think everything kind of feels just normal. So the times when God's trying to bring transformation into our lives, it really won't register as transformation. The point of transformation is that we begin to get uncomfortable. If we live in a state of uncomfortable or fault-finding, complaining, if we just live kind of in a grumpy state of mind instead of a gratitude state of mind, we won't notice when God's trying to work in our lives. We'll be praying, we'll be crying out for it. We'll say, Lord, change me. Lord, work in this area of my life. And when he begins to work in that area, what it feels like is it kind of feels like it's falling apart. But that's what transformation feels like. It takes us from one state to another. So there's a video clip that I want to watch. Tony Robbins, he does a really great little step through on transformation. So let's take a look at this real quick.
How many times, even yourself or someone you know,
yes,
you've seen them come to the truth,
yes,
and they know what
myself.
The truth is,
yes.
me too,
yeah.
And then they know it, you know what's right, and if you don't do it in that moment, you get out of state. And then you go home and you're in a different state. In fact, I think there's a chemistry to transformation that I found. And this isn't just my concepts, it's a couple different people's concepts, but I've kind of simplified it in my own mind. The first step to having that transformation is usually satiation. It doesn't matter, you don't have to have anything wrong with your life. If you're satiated, if your favorite meal was steak and lobster and you had a breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 6 months, I guarantee there's nothing wrong with that, but you're gonna be sick of it. You're gonna want to change something and you're gonna start looking for an option.
Right.
You may not act because it's not enough pain. Right. Some people don't need enough pain. Some people jack that because they're satiated. Most people have to go beyond satiation to dissatisfaction.
Right.
Where the same thing I was doing that was fulfilling is not just empty now, it's actually a little painful. Like I can't take this anymore.
Right.
Third one is threshold. If you get enough dissatisfaction, there's enough leverage in you, there's a part where your brain goes, no more. Not in the day, not in the hour, not in the moment. And at threshold, you get the insight, Oprah. You get the truth usually. It's not my mother, my brother, my sister, my boss, me, my coworkers. It's me, oh Lord. And I got to shift what? And you know the truth. So now you got 4 of the 5. When that truth shows up, there's an opening. And that opening is only there for a second. And it's a scary opening because you don't know what's on the other side. And if you got momentum, and if you got guts, and if you train yourself, when you get the truth, you act on it, you jump through the opening, not knowing it's on the other side, just trusting it's got to be better than whether you are because it's based on the truth.
Yeah.
And the uncertainty, what most people do is they go, I don't know, I'll do it later.
Yeah.
And when the hole closes, you get to start over. You get to go back to wait till you're satiated enough again and dissatisfied enough again and hit your threshold enough again, and you finally get that truth again. And when you get the truth again, or maybe a little different truth, and the opening's there, some people feel bad about the fact that I didn't do it last time, and they get through their feet, and it's a habit, and it closes again. And some people never jump through.
I love that video clip on transformation. I think it does a great job at describing the different stages that you go through. First, you hit satiation. Then you step up to dissatisfaction. Then you go even higher up to threshold. Then you go even higher and you get the truth. And usually the truth is an uncomfortable truth because you have two ideas clashing up against each other. And what that does is it opens that window of transformation. Now, it's a brief moment that opens up, and you have to decide at that moment if you're going to jump or if you're not going to jump. Now, while I showed the clip of transformation, really what we're focusing on right here is gratitude. And the reason we do that is because, as you can see, the steps of transformation, it kind of takes an uncomfortable feeling and it builds and builds and builds. Now, when you're living in a state of gratitude, it's kind of like we talked about, going from air conditioned to the outside to heat to uncomfortable. Now, when you're in gratitude, when you have that mindset, when you live that lifestyle, you're at peace. Now, once you cry out to God, Lord, please transform my life, renew my mind in this area, what typically is going to happen is you're going to get uncomfortable because your prayers are going to be answered. And as your prayers are answered, those two ideas kind of clash up against each other. How your mind thinks, and then God gives you kingdom thinking, those things are going to clash. So that is going to bring a state of uncomfortableness. You're not going to see that God's bringing in transformation into your life. You're just going to feel like your life is starting to go sideways. So we want to be able to recognize when transformation is beginning to take place, because when we do that, then we're capable of jumping through that window of transformation as it opens up instead of having to rerun that cycle again. I really encourage you to live with an attitude of gratitude on a regular basis so that when the winds of transformation are blowing in your life, you're able to recognize it so you can work with it instead of against it. For more resources like this video, connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, our YouTube channel, and through our website at www.thetruthDrivenLife.org. Thank you and God bless.